Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Meg and I am a fully qualified yoga teacher, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk a lot about yoga, tips and tricks and things that you guys can do from home to strengthen up your practice, but also some health and wellness as well. Today is day 13 of my 30-day yoga challenge. This is my 30-day fresh start and 30 days to a healthier you yoga challenge. I am so enjoying this so far. We're nearly halfway, 2 more days and we'll be halfway there. So this is so exciting, and today's class is going to be really fun. It's a lot of strength, but I'm looking forward to doing it. Week 2 is all about building strength and confidence. So we're going to be looking at chaturanga pose and maybe coming into crow pose, which I am so excited to be able to do. You might want to grab a pillow ready for your crow pose, just to kind of give you a little bit more confidence, to help you feel a bit stronger and to kind of put your mind at rest, because it is an arm balance. Especially if you have never tried an arm balance before, it might just help you to feel more at ease in the pose. You can use blocks and straps here as well if you want to, especially if it's something you would usually do in your classes or something that you feel confident with. And when you're ready, we will get started. Okay, we're going to start straight off into our chaturanga. We're going to go over how to do chaturanga. The reason chaturanga is important when you're coming into crow pose is because it's exactly where you want your hands to be. You want your elbows stuck and nice and tight in towards the body, and then you want your hands to be flat into the ground. Fingers are spread, and this is so that you've got more surface area. We're then going to kind of grip the mat with our fingers, spider hands, and this is going to help with balancing. You can always pop a cushion in front of your head when we actually come into crow pose, but we're going to start off with chaturanga. I maybe wouldn't try crow pose until you feel really confident in your chaturanga, but see how you go with it, and yeah, keep practicing. So we're going to start. I personally find it easiest to go into a chaturanga from a down dog, but we're going to do it as if it's from a plank. So if you're a gym girly, we're going to start with the legs back and behind into your plank. We're going to start with the hands underneath the shoulders, squeezing your belly tight, squeezing your glutes. And this is your gym plank. We're going to take this into a yoga plank. We're tucking the tailbone under and protracting through the shoulders. So we're spreading the shoulder blades apart. Take the weight forward so that your shoulders come past your wrists, and then come halfway down into a chaturanga. So you want to squeeze your elbows in towards your body, keep your abs tight, squeeze your glutes, maybe take the bum down. So it's something you have to keep trying. It's worth doing in front of a mirror, but think about gluing your elbows in towards your body and your hands down into the mat with your fingers spread. We're creating like a tabletop position. So if you see how my hands are in a chaturanga, tabletop. There's lots of support through the body. My arms are taking the weight and they're ready to kind of support when I then take my knees onto my forearms? No, biceps, triceps. This part of your arm. I'm having a moment. So let's try again, coming into chaturanga, but this time we're going to hold it. So I have got a breakdown video of chaturanga that kind of shows some different exercises to strengthen you up into your chaturanga. But basically, the best thing you can do is practice makes perfect. Watch yourself in front of a mirror to make sure that you're not dipping your hips down when you're in your chaturanga. So when you're in it, we're coming down. We don't want the hips down. We don't want your bum lifted. We want to be nice and square, flat like a plank with the elbows tucked in towards you. Then you can take the hips down when you're finished to come into your cobra. So let's come into chaturanga. We'll hold for 5 seconds. We'll come out, we'll come into chaturanga, and we'll hold it for 5 seconds. Then we'll start to look at taking this into crow pose. So your hands from your tabletop, your hands underneath your shoulders, and your knees are underneath your hips. Let's flex the toes, take the bum back towards the heels, lift the knees and lift the bum all the way up. So you're in your down dog. We're then going to come up onto the toes, roll the weight forwards. This is the easiest way I find to get into your chaturanga. Take the shoulders so they're past the wrists, and then slowly bend into the elbows, coming into your chaturanga. And we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hips down. Maybe come back into your child's pose if you need to. And then we'll do the same thing again. So if you preferred coming into it from a plank, the very first version, do it that way. If you prefer it like me, coming in from a down dog, do it that way. So starting in either a plank or your down dog, wherever you are, we're pushing through the shoulder blades, rolling the weight forwards till the shoulders come past the wrists, and then we come halfway down and hold. Squeeze the belly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips come down. Coming back. Well done. So keep practicing your chaturanga. Your chaturangas are going to be the most important thing to do to come into your arm balances, because this position where your arms are, it's going to take the weight and it's going to take it safely. So it's the best thing to do. If you want to come into your crow pose, feel free to use a cushion if you want and just place it in front of you. And the reason for this is just in case you do fall forwards, at least then you're not landing on a hard surface, and it also kind of helps to give you a little bit more confidence if you can see in front of you that there's a cushion. I teach a lot of students and they really struggle with it and they worry about falling forwards. To be honest with you, you'll pretty much always catch yourself. So if you're in your crow pose and you start to fall, your hand will pretty much always catch you. So you're not going to hurt yourself really, and also you're like that far off of the ground. So you're not really going to hurt yourself, but you can always pop a cushion there just in case. Sofa cushion, pillow, whatever you want, just to kind of put your mind at ease. So we're going to start in our tabletop with the hands underneath the shoulders. Make sure the fingers are spread here and your index or middle finger is facing forward. Your inner elbows are spun to face the front of the mat. We're going to create spider hands from here. So think about kind of squeezing the fingers so that your knuckles kind of lift, and this is going to grip or help with gripping onto the mat. Let's flex the toes. Take the bum back towards the heels, and we're going to lift the knees. But instead of lifting all the way up into your down dog, we're going to walk the knees up and up and up so that they sit behind your hands. So you want to try and take the knees in towards the underarms or in towards the armpits. This is where we want to be. So a lot of people will do crow pose with their legs kind of hanging off the edge and lifted. That is not crow pose. It's a variation, but it's not the proper crow pose. So to get into this pose, we want to try and get the knees onto this part of the arm here so that it kind of supports the knee here, and then the arm comes into like a tabletop. So you've got that good support. So this might be your beginning point, is just focus on taking or getting the knees actually on to that part of your arm. Then maybe you can think about rolling forwards, finding that balance. You don't have to pick the feet up, and then maybe lift one and then maybe lift the other. You'll find when you begin with crow pose that you'll want to have something on your arms like a jumper or something to cover them, because when you first start you don't always have the strength to kind of lift the knees up lightly, if that makes sense. So you will get bruises come up onto the arms. That's completely normal when you're practicing crow pose a lot. But yeah, hands are down into the mat, spreading the fingertips, and then we're taking the knees onto the tops of the arms, rolling that weight forwards, maybe lifting one, maybe lifting the other, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back. So that's a little breakdown, I guess, into crow pose. Kind of shows you the beginnings and how to do it. I am going to do a full video on crow pose at some point. I want to get the 30-day challenge out of the way first and get all of that recorded, and then maybe I'll do a proper breakdown into all the different types of crow pose. But that is a good way to kind of dip your toe in the water, get you started off. This might be your first arm balance, and for most people this is the one that I always get them to start off with, because if you can do this position with your elbows in, hands down, and support your knees and get that position right, you can then take that into a flying pigeon, so lifting one leg all the way up in your crow pose. It helps with flying splits. All of it is in exactly the same position. So crow pose is always a good place to start. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and please subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me when you guys support me. It really, really does. Liking, subscribing, commenting, sending a super thanks, whatever you can do, it all adds up and it all makes such a difference. So thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 14. Tomorrow is going to be a podcast episode and also a kind of video as well. So there's kind of 2 in 1 day for you tomorrow. So that's something to look forward to. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day and yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.